Bear Valley Sport Shop, ski tuning. Mike Davis, Doctor of Skiology. Your turn to learn how to tune your own skis or have us tune them. I'm going to back up a little bit because we had some questions about waxing. So the question was, why should I wax my skis? The reason we want to wax our skis is to protect the base. When the base looks pale and like this, kind of white, gray, it doesn't have any wax in it. It's not lubricated. So it wears the base out quicker. So you need to have wax in there. The next reason to have your skis waxed, well, we talked about this before, going fast and beating your friends to the bottom, especially your wife or husband, and it makes the ski turn way better. So good turning, good waxing, fast sliding, and beating your friends on the flats can make your day. So that's what we're going for. So that's waxing. Now we're going to figure out what to do with the edges. So why it's important to have sharp edges is because they invented these new skis that have a lot of shape in them. They're wide in the front, they're narrow underfoot, and they're wide again in the tail. Some people call it parabolic, some people call it shape skis, and we just call it a ski with a lot of side cut. Side cut is the curve in the ski. So to make the ski work correctly on the snow, to keep it from skidding, we have to turn it up on its edge. When we do it, put it on its edge, that engages this side cut and makes the ski carve or skid, depending on what you do. Both is good, both is fun, but to have them sharp is important. So you have some choices with your skis. You have, here's my drawing, this is the base of the ski, and the ski can be base high. And that ski wanders all over the place, has no directional stability, and just wanders around on its own. Very unpleasant, especially on the firm snow, and I'm saying firm, not icy snow we have. Ice is something different. Then we have concave. Base is low. That's called railed. Railed is quite annoying. The ski does its own thing, doesn't want to turn, and is a real pain in the neck. And usually makes people come back and say there's something wrong with my skis. What we're looking for is a flat base. So that's the most important part. The easiest way to get a flat base is or to find out if you have a flat base, is to take a straight edge and put it up to the light. We got light here. And look at it. And set it up like that. I don't know if I can show you. Put it up like that. And if it's base high, it'll be touching in the middle and not on the sides. If it's base low, you have a big gap, railed, which is really no fun and most distracting. And flat, just as a nice clean line and an even space between the straight edge and the base of the ski. So, true bar, straight edge. That tells us the story. That's how we decide whether a ski is flat or whether it is something else. Because when people complain about their skis, the first thing we do is take our true bar and find out what the story is. It takes about 30 seconds. Not hard. So, to get the skis flat, the easiest way to get them flat is to put them on a machine it flattens them. And that doesn't take very long either. So we get the ski flat. We know it's flat, so that's where we work from. If we're going to hand tune our skis, which a lot of people think they want to learn how to do, you need a really clever little vise that holds the ski, and you can lock it in somehow. It's got those little groupers in there. I'm going to let it go in. Lock it in so it won't move. Not been very good with those. So, if you were going to do it completely by yourself, which takes some patience, and you can also screw it up. So files come in 12-inch mill bastards, 10-inch mill bastards, little short one, 12 inches, and my favorite is a 6-inch mill bastard. It has the finest cut on it, smoothest, narrowest grooves. Does it really nice for finishing. So a lot of times you start out with a heavier one and you work your way down to that one. So if I was going to flat file the ski, I would put this on here, keep the pressure in the middle, and run it down the ski and flat file it. This takes a lot of patience, and it's much easier to do it on the machine. But if you were going to make it flat, that's what you would do. And you have to keep the pressure in the middle of the file and not on the ends. If you press on the ends, you make the base high and the edges low, and we end up with base high. Squirrely, not a fun ride. The only time the ski gets base low is if you do a lot of skiing on hard snow. It's hard to make it base low with a file. So a lot of skiing can make it base low, or poor machine work can make it low. So sometimes we get skis coming, people coming saying, I just had them tuned and they don't work so good. That's because they're not flat. Next thing that goes along with the files is a file card. If you're going to do a really nice job, you need to clean the file. So after a few passes, you brush the file in the direction of the grooves, and that takes off, gets all the metal out of it, and gets all the wax out of it if there's any. One other file, more like a body file, and if you're into taking a lot of material off, you use that. So, our choices are a flat ski with a 1-degree bevel on the edge, so the edge is actually sloped away a little bit, like the roof of a house, and a 1-degree side bevel, which gives us a 90. But it's not completely square. It's off a little bit. Why do we do that? Well, the skis are torsionally stiff, and this makes them more forgiving and easier to use in all conditions, especially tricky snow, soft snow, and anything that's irregular. This is very forgiving and easy to go in and out of the turn. It's what we call a recreational tune. I do this tune on my skis, and I make them really sharp, and that makes them hold good on this firm but not icy snow. If I'm going to do a pair of skis for a racer, I'm going to give him 1 degree on the bottom, and I'm going to give him 2 degrees on the side. The 2 degree on the side makes much sharper and holds really well on ice and is good for introductory racing, kids who are going to ski on hard snow and need more grip. The reason for the 1-in-1 is because this is a versatile edging for all conditions. Ice, powder, bumps, crud, chop, most forgiving. This isn't so forgiving. This is sharp. Then we have the Elite Racer, and we can do this at 1 or half, and this at 3, which makes an extremely sharp edge. And that person is going to be skiing on snow that maybe is water injected or has been salted or is really, really hard, and he needs all the edge he can get. For me, this isn't much fun. This is too sharp. I need it to be looser so I can skid, pivot, do whatever I need to do, and carve, hopefully carve. So, the way we do it by hand, which is my personal favorite because I'm a fanatic. Being a doctor of skiology, you have to have it just right. So, what we do, we're doing it by hand, so we have this beautiful tool made by Sun Valley Tools, and it has a 1-degree bevel built into it. And it hooks over the edge of the ski like that. We take our file, I'll use the 10-inch, and we're going to go, this distance makes a 1 degree on here, puts it on an angle. So I'm going to set it on there, and usually file in one direction. This ski has already been sharpened, so it doesn't, I'm not grabbing much. I'd like to show you what it looks like. I'll use something meaner, see if I can get a little, should make a noise. And as you do it, actually you should just do it in one direction. I'm kind of lazy. Kind of coming off my little thing there. Anyway, a 1 degree base bevel. That is just not paying attention. So full length, you can do it in sections. I prefer tip to tail. In the race world, you try and do all your tuning from the tip to the tail, because that's the direction you're running. But that's a little difficult when you turn the ski around. So I'm doing it this way because it looks good for the camera. So I'm going to take it down. It takes between, depending on how bad it is, 10 to 20 passes, and you end up with a 1 degree bevel on the base, this way, like the roof of a house. Then, once I've got that nice and clean, if the ski has hit a rock, then the edge has been tempered. It's gotten harder than a file can deal with. So there's 2 ways to go. This is a diamond file, and it can go, this can go in your 1 degree tool, and you can work on the place where you hit the rock to break up that hardening, that case hardening, and then go back with the file and make it even. You're trying to make it very even all the way through. So now I've got a 1 degree bevel on my bottom edge, and now what I want to do is make it sharp. So this is a very inexpensive and easy to use vise. for parents who want to set up at races. If you don't have the clever bench, I've set it up on railings at the hotel. I've set it up indoors. And it is light, small, and holds the ski really tight. This has got these gadgets on here, which are getting in my way. So we've got a beveled edge on the bottom, and now we want to do a beveled edge on the side to give us our 90 degrees. So we have a 1 degree and a 1 degree, which gives us a nice, good recreational, all-mountain, forgiving, fun, easy to carve on, good in the chopped up kind of snow that makes it tricky. Inconsistent snow works really great. So how do I do it? I'm going to do it with a 1 degree side edge beveler, which is a great invention. And it goes, I'm going to go with the little one because I like it. So it gets clipped on there with a little clip, and then you move it out to whatever angle you need to get a good grip, to get a good bite on the ski. And if it's just making a no noise, kind of a sliding over the ski, you're not getting it. So this is what it looks like. These gadgets are in the way. Now, if you could see it on this side, now let's see here. Yeah, high tech. Whoops, it's like a little thin piece of metal that gets peeled off of there. So it's, I'm taking metal off. And that's the sound you want. I'm really cutting into it. Now, one of the things that happens when you side edge file for the first time is that there's a little ridge on the ski, a little piece that backs up the edge and is at the same level. Now this ski's been skied tuned before, so it's okay. You can buy a tool that actually cuts this little piece of plastic off of here, but if you're not getting a good cut with your file, what I do, wish I could show you. Carefully, I take the sharp end of the file and knock down that little edge, trying not to hit the edge of the ski, so that that thing is out of the way, and then make a sidewall planer, but that's not what I'm using. I'm using the file. So we're back to tuning, and what we get after some nice long passes, tip to tail, all the way to the end. You hear funny noises, you probably have a spot that's been hit by a rock. Like this spot right here has been hit by a rock. So it's glazed over. The file's not hard enough to cut it. So I can take a diamond gummy stone. I don't know if they're real diamonds, but they say they are. Kind of rubbery and hard. And I can work on that spot and break down the tempered spot on the ski. Or I can go to what they call a diamond file. And you can put, if you're worried about your edge angle, you can put your diamond file right on your, try to put it on the right way. Put your diamond file right on there and knock down that hard spot, because this is harder than the file. So once I get it even and smooth, basically what I have now is what you call a burr. A burr is from the file. So I just filed the bottom, and it left the burr sticking out this way, and now I've filed the side edge, and it's leaving a burr sticking out like that. You feel it. There's a little really super sharp feeling burr. If you leave the ski like that, it doesn't work good. It's a sad feeling. So you can go to your diamond file, put it on your guide, your file guide, and clean it off of there. So now we're back to a 90 degree with no burr. Or actually the burr is going this way, so that didn't work. The burr is going this way on the ski. So I take my gummy stone, run it right down the top of the ski, and knock that burr off. Now people talk about deburring. That would be deburring, taking the burr off of the edge. So when I feel it, it feels smooth, sharp, and consistent. What I do to finish it is the place where the ski doesn't touch the snow, I just take it and make it dull, so it doesn't catch on moguls or any kind of bumps. Doesn't get the ski doesn't deflect. If you're into shaping a brand new pair of race skis or any ski, you can actually file this round, but not anywhere where the ski's going to touch the snow, and actually use the side cut to make the ski turn. And a little bit of deburring there. Same thing here. Little deburring. Always come back with my gummy to make sure it's smooth. Where the ski finishes in and starts to taper back in, where it's not going to really dig into the snow. Same thing. Little deburring. It's round. It's not sharp anymore. It's gone. This is where the ski edges. This is where it engages. Back here, we don't want it to grab. Again, a little deburring with a gummy stone. Make it nice and smooth. And you have a really consistent, smooth, sharp edge. If you're a beginner, it doesn't have to be as sharp. If you're an intermediate, it gets to be a little bit sharper. If you're an expert or an advanced skier, sharp. Because you're going to be on the edge most of the time. The turn these days is as little time on the ski flat, as much of the time on the edge as possible. Edge to edge, arc to arc, carving. That's how that works. Bad, bad, flat. Flat's the best. Recreational. 1 and 1. Most forgiving, best edging, most fun. 1 and 2. Intermediate racing. 1 and 3. Racer. So we could go away and see what it looks like on the machine. Bear Valley Sport Shop, Tuning 101. When you bring in a pair of skis, we take a look to see if they're flat, and we check to see if the bases have any holes in them. If the bases have holes and scratches, then that's called a full tune, and we make the ski look like brand new. So what we would do is check to see if it's flat, and then we would fill in the hole. This hole was made by a chisel, not a rock. And what we would do is use our little soldering gun. Some people think that it's okay to melt these candles into the base. But what happens is when you melt the candle, there becomes a carbon which doesn't make the patch hold very well. Works for a while, but it's not the best. So we use this because it's the right temperature. If you're smoking, it's too hot. As you can see, the smoke. And we fill it in with P-Tex, it's called. It's the same material as the base is made out of. So we give it a little heat, and then we press it in. And let it cool off. 1, 2, 3, it's cool. And then we take it and we use, this is the machine tune. It's a belt sander made for snowboards and skis. We have a 120 grit on there to give it a nice finish. And it goes like this. So now, if you've used the machine right, you have a flat ski. And that's where we start from. So a full tune gets completely sanded and all the cracks filled in. Cost $40. A basic tune, we just sand the bottom, do the edges, and hot wax. So this ski is ready to be edged. So we're going to go into the edging room and make these skis sharp. So on the edge beveling machine, we do it the same way as we do hand. We do the bottom first. Same as with the hand tool, only we did it with the machine. 1 degree bevel on the base. Same as with the tools, hand tools. 1 degree, 1 degree. You have a 90. It's extremely sharp. There's a burr. There's a burr running this way. So we take it into our room. Let me have this spot for a second. Just take the board out for a second. Back to our diamond gummy stone. Take the burr off. This is the most important part of this whole process because you want it consistent and smooth, and you can tell if you've got a clean, sharp edge for carving. For digging into that firm, icy snow. Deburr the tip and the tail. Not too sharp. We don't want it hooking on any moguls. We don't want it deflecting when it shouldn't. Smooth. Feels good. Even. Intermediate skiers or beginners, make it a little bit not so sharp right in the tip, just a little bit, so it's easy to sneak into that turn. And then, you've seen this part before,
yeah.
Iron's nice and hot today. No problem. The best thing to do when you're getting through with your waxing is to wax one, let the other one cool off, or even leave it overnight. Sharp scraper, use the edge so you don't make any scratches in your blade. Wax off of the edge. Scrape all the wax that you see. This is for snowboards. We'll use it on the ski. A lot of people ask me, how long does a good wax job last? Well, depending on how rough the snow is, it can last 1 day to 4 days. But as soon as it looks dry and pasty, it's time for more wax, or if your friends are passing you up. That's all, folks.